Excuse me? Zur. Gabio, Uzbekistan killing.
Eye candy for y'all. Salam alaikum. You're probably wondering, why are we in a mall at the start of a video? That's because we're in Tashkent and it's like 35 degrees outside right now, and I'm waiting for the sunset and then we can start walking outside. Basically, like, everybody here waits until the sun goes down and then they go out. And that's probably why a lot of stuff here is like open till midnight. I was walking around today during the afternoon while like the sun was fully out and it was like 36 degrees, walking for like 5-10 minutes, and I was already drenched in sweat. This mall, Tashkent City Mall, is in basically the center of the city, and it's surrounded by a lot of modern and brand new buildings. And right next to it is Tashkent City Park, which has like a huge man-made pond. And I gotta say, I think this mall is one of the nicest malls I've ever been to, even topping malls in China. As soon as I walked in, this is like the main lobby, and I'm just really impressed. I got some hate on my last video on Kyrgyzstan, but in general, I got an overwhelming amount of love and support. I really appreciate that. I'm literally like updating my phone like every like 5 minutes, checking the view and like count. And I mean, I guess you could say Kyrgyz people are more welcoming and loving and nice than Kazakhs. But if you're from Kazakhstan and you want to prove me wrong, then go like my Kazakhstan video and support. Tiffany Blue Rolls Royce. Damn. And you know, just right off the bat, the difference, again, just compared to Bishkek and here, huge difference. And these cities like Almaty, Bishkek, and Tashkent, they're just like a few hours away from each other, you know, but the difference is so big. I guess that really has to do with, you know, countries, government, the natural resources it has. And, you know, I guess every country gets dealt different cards, just like people in life, you know. But I'm really glad to say that I think every country in Central Asia is developing on a good track, you know, on a good path. You know, just like your own life, you gotta be grateful for what you have and what you're given. And it's the same thing with your own country, you know, you gotta be thankful. There's a lot of countries that are worse off and a lot of countries that are better off. And you just gotta appreciate what you're given. Again, you got KFC. They even have a Papa John's here. I mean, we don't even have this in Canada. And we're like right next to the States, right? And then I think this is a local brand, Bellissimo Pizza. And I'm really happy to see a Wendy's. Wendy's is like my go-to favorite fast food. And then you have Hardee's, which is Carl's Jr. And again, we don't even have that in Canada. So I guess they really like pizza in Uzbekistan. You got a Pizza Hut there. And then Dodo Pizza, which is another like Central Asia pizza chain, I think. One cool thing or difference I noticed in Central Asia, the malls, the elevators are like tucked away on the side of the mall. And then right next to the elevators, you'd have like a bunch of ATMs. And it's totally different from the West. Usually we have like the elevators dead center in the mall. But here it's like off to the side. You gotta go down like a hallway. So here you have Sky Park. It's like a jungle gym, indoor playground for kids. And across from it is a movie theater. And then here's a view from the top floor. I mean, look at this. This is just a hallway to the washrooms, and there's like TVs lined up against the wall. So this is right outside the main entrance of Tashkent City Mall, and then right outside you have all the modern, brand new buildings and Tashkent City Park. So it looks like Uzbekistan is taking note from China and putting LEDs on high-rise buildings. And I have a friend that lives in Changsha and lives in one of the buildings where the outside is just covered with LEDs. And you can imagine the people who live in that building don't like it that much. It might look good from the outside and like maybe like one or two buildings, but when you have every single building like that covered with LEDs, like Chongqing, I don't know how people can sleep at night. I think this is my first time seeing a Korean restaurant in Uzbekistan. And the whole time I've been in Central Asia, I've only seen it like a couple of times, just a few times. But you know, I thought there was like a pretty big Korean community in Central Asia. But it was only until last night I went to like a pretty popular street and I met a Korean guy for the first time in Central Asia. First time seeing a Korean person in Central Asia. And he didn't know any Korean. So I guess he just fully adapted to Uzbek culture. The sun is almost fully set, but I'm still sweating buckets. And looking around, there's not a drip of sweat on anybody else. So Tashkent and Uzbekistan is probably the first city and country that I came to without doing any research at all or watching any videos. I think the most I watch is like a few minutes, and I tried to like hold off from watching anything because I just wanted to get that like raw first-hand experience for myself. And I gotta say, I am surprised. You know, every city actually in Central Asia has been surprising me, but this one, Tashkent, because it's a lot closer to the Middle East, I was expecting it to be a lot more like undeveloped. And I guess this is like pretty like, I don't know, you could say like messed up to think this way, but I don't know, I'm from the West, you know, I guess it's just natural to think that, you know, I thought it would be kind of like Afghanistan, you know, here. You know, really undeveloped dirt roads and stuff like that, but it's the complete opposite, I'll tell you that. And what did I say? They really love Coca-Cola and Pepsi here. It definitely does feel a lot more Middle Eastern here, especially in the area I'm staying in and about like a bit more out of the city center. But in the city center where I am right now, it just kind of feels like a mini Dubai. I haven't been to Dubai, but you know, like, of course, everybody's seen tons of videos on it. Super modern and clean, and this is what it is here. I'm just like kind of talking out my ass here, but I assume that having water just like out like this, especially in such like a hot city like Tashkent, is takes a lot of maintenance, you know, and money to refill it, because I guess it just evaporates from the heat, right? And that's just another thing, like going back to how the governments in Central Asia and countries not in the West put money into public spaces and third places for people to enjoy. The whole park is really modern and new. And besides that, there's no like historical like buildings or any statues, monuments like that. But I think if they added some stuff like that, it would really elevate the park. These buildings right off the park really give a vibe of like Italy, Morocco, like I'm right off the coast of the Mediterranean Sea. Very nice. So we're just gonna walk around now and try to find something to eat. It's like almost 8 and I'm getting pretty hungry. So let's see what we'll find. Some eye candy for y'all. And I guess that's why it's spotless. Literally have a guy scrubbing the floor. But it does pay off, man. It's really beautiful here. So here's a Turkish restaurant and there's a bunch of people sitting outside. So, you know, I guess follow the crowd. And we'll go with this one. So basically, like almost every restaurant I've been to in Central Asia so far, what happens is as soon as you sit down at your table, the waiter just stands there and expects you to know what you want already. They give you like no time to think about or look at the menu. So we'll see if they do that here. If any of y'all interested in, you know, the prices of a meal here, about like 9,000 soms, Uzbek soms, is $1 Canadian. So like basically take away 4 zeros. And this is like I think a pretty nice restaurant, like comparable to like a keg, the keg at in Canada. They didn't end up doing that here, but trust me, it does happen in Central Asia. And I'm gonna take you guys to a restaurant one day and show you. I got the classic kebab, and I actually had a kebab a few nights ago, and I thought this was just a paper towel. It's like soaking up the oil, but it's actually like really thin pita bread, and I had no clue, because before when I tried kebab, the bread was a lot more thick than this. So I also got this because I'm freaking starving, so I didn't think that would be enough. I forgot the name of it, but it's grape leaves stuffed with minced meat. So the total came out to around 180,000, and restaurants will usually have a 10 to 15% service fee. It just depends on how nice the restaurant is. And then some restaurants will even charge you a fee for using your credit card, but it's just like a few cents. And just keep in mind, this is a pretty nice restaurant, so you can definitely find stuff that's like twice as cheap as this place. And usually I don't go to like this nice of a restaurant. I just like to save money. This is Chorsu Bazaar, and let me say, I'm very thankful it's indoors, because right now it's like 36, 37 degrees. So it looks like maybe a quarter of the stores are closed already, but there's still a lot open. It's probably because it's a bit late in the day already, but that's because I thought it was outdoors, and I wanted to avoid the heat, so I wanted to come a bit later. Architecturally, this is the nicest bazaar I've ever seen. So this bazaar is actually 2,000 years old, but it doesn't look like it, right? That's because it's not the actual original bazaar. This bazaar, this building in specific, was actually rebuilt or built in the 1970s during the Soviet Union. And it probably doesn't look like that because the whole building actually holds on to a lot of Middle Eastern and like Islamic type architecture, and that was actually intentional. You know, most buildings in the Soviet Union follow that like brutalist architecture style. but not this building. And Chorsu actually means crossroads. And it makes sense, you know, because actually Tashkent was, it played a big role during the Silk Road. It was a center, you know, like the middle point between Europe, the Middle East, and East Asia. It's actually really clean in here. It does have a little bit of a smell because of all the raw meat, but it actually smells more like cooked lamb actually. Even though there's no like cooked food around here, everything's just raw meat and vegetables, stuff like that. Man, I think Uzbekistan and Tashkent is probably the hardest place I've came to make videos. It's just so hot every day, and it's so hard to find a good time to go out and film stuff. Because even if I'm not filming, I'm just dying from the heat. And then you have the added stress of trying to make a video while it's like 36, 37 degrees. Oh, I'm okay, thank you. Just look. What's that?
Hello,
Hello, hello. What's your name?
Rasujan.
Asujan. Nice to meet you, man.
Rasujan.
Rasujan. Okay. So is it your shop? It's your store? Oh, okay. Cool.
Okay.
How old are you?
18.
18. Wow. So is your business? You own it?
Business.
Or your family?
Family Samarkand.
Family business.
No. Family business.
Family business. Ah, okay. So you're out here working, grinding. All right. I respect that. I don't think he understands me, but you know, it's cool. Good, good, good. So on the second level here, it's a bunch of like dried goods. You got like dried fruit, nuts, all that good stuff. I think you even have like some tea here. And actually, like I think tea culture and coffee culture is pretty equal here, if I'm not wrong. I've seen like a lot of coffee shops. But in Bishkek, I didn't see a lot of coffee shops actually. I don't even think I had coffee once while I was in Bishkek. You know, if I didn't say this was a bazaar or like a market, this place could literally pass for like a train station in China or like an airport in the States. Like just take a look at this roof. Kind of reminds me of Changi Airport in Singapore. So around the main building, it's just like a circular road that surrounds it, and the market spreads out past that. It's always good to see these places, even though they're pretty big tourist destinations, it's still very much a part of the local community and somewhere they actually go to, and it's not like just like a tourist grab type of thing. So you still get to feel some of that local lifestyle. We gotta go inside the shade, escape the heat for a bit. This is actually the hottest temperature I've ever experienced. And so like I can really feel the difference between being outside in the sun versus the shade. I think like the temperature drop is at least like 8 degrees. Just gonna grab a quick drink. Can't go wrong with water, just simple water. This was like 4,000 soms, which is about like 50 cents, I'd say, Canadian. But tell me how a bottle of water in Canada is like $1 or $2, but we have like the most freshwater lakes in the world. And Uzbekistan is in the middle of like the desert. Kinda, I think it's landlocked, right? So how does that even make any sense? I've seen these type of flatbreads in Urumqi in Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan. So I guess it's like a staple food in Central Asia. Sometimes you just gotta admire the small things, you know? Just take a look at the floor. There's not one piece of trash anywhere. I always said that humidity is worse than it being like hotter in terms of like raw temperature. Like around like 30 degrees with like 80% humidity, I'd say it's like equivalent to now, where it's like 36, 37 degrees, 20% humidity, it's dry, but when it gets so hot, the feeling is like equivalent to it being that humid. Probably because, you know, I'm a bit pale, but you know, as soon as I walk out in the sun, I just feel like I'm being fried. But in humidity, I just feel like I'm being like baked, like a steam. And if there's one thing I took away from traveling this long, being away from home, is that Toronto in specific has perfect weather. It's not too cold and not too hot. You know, during the winter, a lot of people in Canada just stay inside. And so basically, like, we don't go out for like almost half the year. And it gets depressing, you know? And I always thought that, you know, countries that don't have winter and are just like hot and tropical all the time, people are just, you know, chilling outside every day, you know, and there's no problem. But I realized that a lot of people actually stay inside during the summer times. So it's like the same thing as people in Canada staying in during the winter. You know, in the summertime, in these places, it just gets way too hot to be outside. And I always felt that, you know, I'm wasting like almost half the year of my life every year having to stay inside and not being able to go outside because it's so cold. But I guess knowing this now, it kind of makes me feel better that, you know, everybody in the world kind of goes through this like hibernation period.
Assalomu alaykum. Men Uzbekistonda kelganimga 2 yil bo'ldi. Men 18 ga kirganman.
Tushundingizmi? Zo'r. Gap yo'q, O'zbekistonga keling.
What is it? Spice. Spice, okay. So this guy just gave me some spice to try. Oh man, that tastes like Montreal steak spice. It's good though. What is this?
Tea, fruit
Tea.
Apple,
I could just eat it.
Orange.
I could just eat.
Tea, water, tea.
Okay.
Chai.
Try. Cool. Oh, hold on. It's stuck in my mouth. What is this?
Spice.
Spice again?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh God.
Hey, clear.
Okay, I gotta get some water. Hold on.
Tuya migram, tuya. Gum is spice. Gum.
Yeah. I can. Yeah. So I think this guy wants me to shoot his spice shop. I do a little free promo here. I just walking by and then these two guys just told me to come over and gave me some free spice. Yeah, that's good stuff, man. It's like Montreal steak spice. Tea with oranges, dried oranges.
From Iran, saffron.
Saffron. Yeah, saffron. Oh, that's cool. I've never seen saffron actually.
This smell.
Cool.
Very good.
Expensive. Expensive,
No,
right? No?
For you, discount. Mehman.
Saffron.
We're from Uzbekistan. Hello.
Thôi mới bên nhà có.
Anna.
This guy's 18. On his last.
TikTok.
Go. Let's go.
No, man, yes.
Hey, no.
Okay.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Okay.
Oh no, this no.
I know.
Limone.
Go. These guys are strong. Okay. Okay.
Check those.
Okay. These guys are so strong, man. Holy shit. This guy's just toying with this guy from America. America versus Uzbekistan.
I think the audio might have been fucked up because I left the mic in my bag. But apparently the guy that I was arm wrestling was a Bazaar champion. He just arm wrestles like tourists from every country. And then there's like a guy that has a stall nearby there that films everything and puts it on TikTok. And there was one guy, he was like arm wrestling from America, and he was just toying with this guy, like going back and forth. I tried asking them like questions about like what do they think about the West and America and Canada, and if there's anything they want to tell the West or the rest of the world. And all of them were just like, no, like I think like sensitive question, and they're scared. I think maybe they'll get in trouble, but I think that's like a common thing I found here in Uzbekistan. Whenever I try to ask some locals if they want to say anything to the camera. Big difference compared to Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan. Everybody seems like they're willing to speak their mind, you know? Don't think just because Tashkent is a big city that people will be less friendly. Like the people here, just as friendly as people in Kyrgyzstan. Kyrgyzstan has that more like small town vibe. Tashkent, you know, a lot more high rises and like modern buildings, but people are just as friendly, man.